What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the top stocks that I'm looking to buy right now in the stock market, and I also want to go over the stock market in general, what's been going on the past couple of days, as well as what the futures are looking like right now. We also have some stimulus news to talk about and a bunch of earnings reports, guys. Earnings season is officially, I know we had banks last week, but now the juicy companies, the companies everybody wants to talk about, they're actually reporting this week. So a lot to go over. If you guys find value, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and excuse this hoodie I have on. I'm in New Jersey right now, and believe it or not, guys, it's starting to get cold outside, and I'm in my closet. I actually film these videos in a closet that does not have heat, and it's cold in here, so I gotta wear this hoodie. So if you guys find value, hit the like button for me, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get, oh, and by the way, check the free links down below, and let's get right into it. Starting off here with what happened last week in the market. So you guys can see the S&P 500 5-day, 5-minute chart here. We hit 3550 on Monday. We downtrended for pretty much the whole week, right? We had 3 straight downtrending days, 1, 2, 3, and then Friday, we had a change of direction day. We gapped up, we broke the moving averages here, we broke a key resistance level on the S&P right around 3480, and we saw that big pop, right? You guys can see it. And the reason why this was good was because the S&P was able to break the lows from the previous day, right? Notice, and I actually mentioned this last week in the videos. Notice how last week we failed breaking out pretty much every day. We failed breaking out of the previous day's lows, right? It happened this day, this day as well, and pretty much this day. So that's not too good of a sign. Well, it wasn't. And the second we broke that, it was very bullish, right? So we rallied in the beginning of the day on Friday. We sold off a bit from there, but then again, we started to rally, but we failed to break the previous high on Friday, and we actually got a huge sell-off in the market from 3507 all the way down to that infamous level of resistance at 3480. So that's a good sign here for the bulls. And like I said on Friday, and well, I'm going to say it again today, it was pretty much a back and forth day, bulls and bears, and I can't really tell you guys who won the day, but the fact that 3480 held, that is a good sign for the bulls, because it held 2 days prior to that, right? We triple bottomed and rallied off 3480, and it was a resistance on Thursday. So the fact that we held an old resistance as a new support, that is a very strong technical indicator. So last week, again, we sold off pretty much all week other than this day, and it makes sense because the markets were overbought, no doubt about it, and I've been saying that on my videos as well. S&P was extremely overbought. You guys can see it here, let's say on the 4-hour chart especially. I mean, we rallied for about, I don't know, 10 solid days without a major pull down, and a week of some pull downs within the week, and we finally got it last week, right? And we ended up holding 3440, and we'll see what happens there this week if we go and retest that on the S&P. And when it comes down to the futures market, guys, the futures are gapping up. S&P 500 futures are up 15 points right now, up 0.45%, so pretty much up 0.5% here. And the NASDAQ futures, let's take a look at those, the tech-heavy futures here, they're up about 0.65%, so even better, up about 76 points. And the Dow Jones futures right now with about, actually it's 55 minutes into the futures session since it opens every Sunday at 6 p.m. here on the East Coast. The Dow Jones futures, they're up about 100 points, up 0.35%. And why is this? Well, I have a feeling it's because of stimulus and some news we got earlier today that Nancy Pelosi's looking to put a 48-hour pretty much, what is it, like what is this, a 48-hour, what do they want to call it? Kind of like a deadline, right? A 48-hour deadline on stimulus to be reached before the election. So let me read some notes here about that. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Sunday, which is today, she and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin must reach an agreement within 48 hours of, I'm guessing today, if they want to pass a CV relief bill before Election Day, like I said before. And this is a quote that came straight from, I believe, was it Pelosi? I think so. The 48 hours only relates to if we want to get it done before the election. So she put emphasis on that, which we do, Pelosi said in an ABC interview. And we're saying to them, but we're saying to them, we have to freeze the design on some of these things. Are we going with it or not? And what is the language? So that shows that they're still going back and forth, and Pelosi is putting pressure on the administration to cut a deal by Tuesday because the legislative process in the House and Senate will take time to play out, and it won't be feasible to get a bill done through both chambers by November 3rd if the talks drag on beyond the next couple of days. So what is that telling you, and what is that telling me, guys? The clock is ticking. The clock is ticking on this stimulus, and the market is liking it because what do we talk about on the channel a lot? Stimulus. It's good for the stock market. Let's be honest. When dollars are printed, asset prices go up because the dollar weakens, pushes the asset prices up. We're talking all assets pretty much. Gold, silver, especially stocks and real estate. And at this point with stimulus, I think it's a political move, right? I mean, the right thing to do right now, no doubt about it, is to get the stimulus done ASAP because Americans, the majority of them, are struggling out there. They need these checks. They need this money, and they're struggling, guys. So pushing back the checks for a political move, I don't like that. And I would like to see the stimulus ASAP. That's just me, and I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comment section. And that's pretty much it, in terms of the markets here, the futures, a little stimulus update. So watch out what the futures look like heading into tomorrow, into the morning pre-market, and especially what the large caps look like. We're talking Apple, Amazon, Facebook, all these big stocks. Are they gapping up? Are they gapping down? That's going to really show you kind of, hey, where could we be moving, at least in the beginning of the day? And that could help you also plan out your plays. So like I said in the intro, earnings season is upon us, right? And most of the stocks here, well, probably like half of them we're going to talk about today. They're reporting earnings this week, and we might as well just start. The first one here is Netflix, guys. And like I said, we're going to get some fun companies. Not saying that the banks are boring. Not saying that, guys. Well, maybe I'm saying that a little bit because we had banks last week. I wasn't too excited for that in terms of earnings. But now that we got a bunch of companies, tech names, some restaurants, and so forth, I'm getting a bit excited. So Netflix was down about 2% Friday, down about $11. That makes sense as the market was all over the place, very volatile. A lot of stocks were up, a lot of stocks were down. So it makes sense Netflix went down about 2%. And you guys can see going into earnings, I actually like the technicals here on Netflix. We're down about $42 from the peak literally just 3 days ago. Trading days ago, not calendar days, trading days ago. And that's a drop of about 7% from 570 to about 530. So going into earnings, this is looking decent, technically speaking, right? We've pulled down on the 4-hour chart. RSI's come down a bit. We're seeing a hold here on the 530 support. That's very big, guys. This was an old resistance from back in the beginning of October, and it was also a support back in the end of August, right around 530. And it's also where the 50 simple moving average lies here on the 4-hour chart. You guys can see it, right? Right at 533 is where that 50 SMA is. So this is going to be a pretty interesting spot. And I would maybe, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I would be looking at maybe a rally into earnings here with Netflix. Maybe if some hype builds up into earnings, we might see a rally. And that's where I'm going to come into play. And if you guys didn't know, I'm not a big trader when it comes to buying and holding through earnings. For me, that's too much of a gamble. Sure, I've done it before. I've won money doing that before. I've made money doing it before. But I've also lost a ton. So I've learned not to do that. As I've become a little bit more conservative over the years, I've learned not to do that. And I'm not going to do it, to be honest. But again, we might see a rally into the earnings where I might be able to come in and get a play anywhere from, let's say, 530 to 550. I think that's very possible. I don't know if we get back to 570 before earnings. Hey, nobody knows. We might. But if we have if we have a great earnings report, maybe we blow right past 570, and I'll be kicking myself then. But again, I'm not going through breaking my own rules here, because my own rules show, and they state, for me at least, don't hold through earnings. So if I do miss the play, it's okay, guys, because I'm abiding by my own rule. And if I break that rule and I try and hold through earnings, it's going to get messy for me, because it just will. I just know it will, guys. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of Netflix. Earnings coming up here on Tuesday. So now that I'm thinking about it, Tuesday is actually in 2 days. So if we don't see a run-up tomorrow in the stock or on Tuesday, I think they report after hours. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. We might see some action Monday, Tuesday on Netflix. And if we don't, it's okay, because Tesla here, TSLA, is another company that might see a big play. Tesla was down 2%, $9 on Friday. They're reporting earnings on Wednesday, and I'm pretty much applying that same philosophy with Netflix, looking for some hype before earnings. Here with Tesla, maybe even more so. I feel like Tesla might have even more hype heading into earnings than Netflix does due to just the nature of the business, right? There's a lot of hype behind the events, and especially behind earnings reports, more so than Netflix, but it's the same thing. It applies here. So Tesla, Wednesday earnings, that's the 21st of this month. And you guys can see, and let me take off my hood now. I'm getting a bit toasty in here now, guys. That's what happens when you're filming the videos. Tesla here, 460 is a big resistance, $460. I mean, literally, we've gotten hit there once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in the past about month and some change here. And we're squeezing up into that resistance, right? We keep failing at 460, but each time we pull down, we're pulling down to a higher low and rallying off. What that's telling me is we're seeing some strength heading into that big wall at 460, to the point where if we break out of there, we might see a massive pop. I don't know if we're going to see a short squeeze. Hey, maybe we might see a short squeeze above there back into 500, but I feel like there's going to be a big momentum, just a lot of momentum here above 460, maybe even heading into earnings, and especially if we get a strong earnings report. Let's say something unexpected comes out and they crush numbers, guidance looks good, then we might get that move. And speaking of guidance, guys, that is what you should be looking for in these companies, right? Yeah, the current EPS and the current revenue's good, whether or not they beat their expectations, that's always good. But what's even better, guys, let me tell you, what's even better is when a company has strong guidance. What's in the next 12 months? If it's looking good, if their guidance outpaces what analysts were expecting for the next 12 months, that is what can move a stock tremendously, right? So let's say hypothetically, these are not numbers for Tesla, but let's say Tesla, the analysts were expecting $1 billion in revenue for the next 12 months. Then all of a sudden, Tesla comes out and they're like, oh, we're expecting $1.5 billion for the next 12 months, $2 billion for the next 12 months. Do you know how much Tesla would run on that news? And a lot of stocks out there, not always, sometimes they don't react like you think they will, but for the most part, especially if a high growth company comes out with those types of guidance numbers, the stock's going to go bananas. So watch out for guidance. That's the moral of the story. That should definitely help you guys when you're doing analysis of earnings reports. And the next one here, and for Tesla especially, a break above 460, watch for that. And even a gap fill up to 460, and then maybe a breakout. We'll see. And IBM is the next one here. They're actually reporting earnings tomorrow on Monday, and they are interesting. What we can see here is there's two big resistances on IBM. One at $130 and the other one at about $136, $137, right? And we've gotten rejected there multiple times ever since the beginning towards the end, actually end of April, beginning of May. And at this point, we got rejected literally this past week at 136, fell all the way down to about 122. I'm not too sure why. I might be missing something here. Maybe a catalyst came out that I'm not too aware of. Probably. There's definitely something that came out that moved the stock down. But yeah, it's moving down. And now we're seeing some consolidation, some hardcore consolidation these past 1, 2, 3, 4 days as the market tanked. I mean, IBM pretty much held its own. I mean, it did fall too, but for the past 4 days, it's held its own. So I'm liking that. That's showing some strong strength. I don't know if that's a weird saying. Strong strength. Let's just say it's showing some strength at $125. And I'm looking for that slow gap up. If we get a gap up out of, let's say, 126, 127 tomorrow, we might see a gap fill up to about 130. And if they do well with earnings, maybe from 130 to 135. And my goal here is maybe to get in on some earnings hype, maybe up to 130, but an even better scenario would be they report earnings, they do well, guidance is good, the stock doesn't react too much, and then I can get in, right? That's kind of the risk involved with not getting in earnings. Sure, you have peace of mind. You have peace of mind that you're not gambling in a sense, but you could also miss the move, and that could mess with your head if you are a beginner, and the goal is not to let it do that, but that's the truth, right? That's the truth. If I don't get in before earnings, sure, I can miss a move up, but you guys have to realize it could work against you, right? Let's say I were to get in at 125, earnings come out, and it tanks to 115. I'm holding the bag at that point, and that is never a spot you want to be in for the most part. And it happens to all of us. You know, we bag hold sometimes a little bit longer than what we expected, but hey, it's if you can avoid it, it's more it's better, right? Let's just put it that way. So IBM, watch out for 126 up to 130 and even above from there. That's where I'm looking to make the move. And also here on Coca-Cola, ticker symbol KO, they're reporting on Thursday, so there's a little bit more time before earnings for them to make a move. And I'm very interested in Coca-Cola, especially if it's able to hold $50. I mean, you guys can see it for yourselves. This is a pretty nice looking chart on the 4-hour chart here. I mean, we're uptrending, we're pulling down, hitting higher lows, higher highs. Well, we haven't hit a higher high in about a month and a half at this point. So I'm thinking if $50 holds, we end up rallying up to $52 and break. That is where the higher high is going to be met. And I believe a price target here in the short term that I have for Coca-Cola. Let me extend this to the right. I'd put it at about $53. So from $50 to $53, that's around a 5% potential here on Coca-Cola. And again, they report earnings on Thursday, which is a couple of days, so we might even see that move before earnings, especially if the markets are healthy. We get stimulus. If we get stimulus, guys, this week and the markets push green, I'm not going to put 100% on anything, but I could see Coca-Cola make a move up towards that target. And honestly, all of these stocks we're talking about, you know, Netflix, Tesla, IBM, they probably might make a move as well if the overall markets are green, but we don't know that for sure, so I'm not going to say that and give out misinformation because nobody knows what's going to happen. This is all just my opinion. And the next one here we talked about last week is Virgin Galactic, ticker symbol SPCE, showed a nice momentum change here ever since it broke 22.50 last Friday. We rallied up to about 23.40. Now we're pulling down and holding that old resistance as a new support at $22.40. cents. And for me, it is critical for this stock to hold 22.40 to fill the gap up to $25, which is my price target. You guys can see it here on the 4-hour chart. $24.50 to about $25 is the next big level of resistance here, stemming back from the middle of July. You guys can see we failed there once. We rallied up towards the end of July to about $30, but we ended up pulling back down, getting rejected again at $24.50 to $25. So be careful at anything under $24.50. I mean, if we end up rallying up towards $24.50, $24, let's say at some point this week, that might be a point. And again, this is not financial advice, but that might be a point to maybe lock in some profits and not buy, right? Because you don't want to get caught at a resistance, quite honestly. But again, that's not financial advice. But at this point where we are now, where the stock has dipped and we're looking to hold 22.50, this might be a place to get in. But again, for the third time, this is not financial advice, guys. So watch out. Virgin Galactic, $22.50, $23 up to $25, $26. That is where I think it could go. More like $24 to $25, not $26. But you guys get the point, right? And the next one here, which I made a video on Saturday, and if you guys didn't check this video out, I will link it down below in the description box. You should definitely watch it. If you guys are into space stocks, up-and-coming space stocks, definitely go watch that video. It's about Momentus, and the ticker symbol here is SRAC, and they're looking to take Momentus public through a SPAC, right? It's a $1.2 billion merger from, not a merger, but a deal here from my memory, if I remember correctly. It was either 1.1 or 1.2 billion, and this is one that I feel like is still riding under the radar a bit. You know, a lot of the time you see these companies, these SPACs go and they shoot up the next day. You know, the coming weeks they go bananas, and this one really hasn't done that. There hasn't been much hype quite yet. You know, it's still trading around $10. I believe the SPAC was listed at about $10 when they came to the agreement. So it really hasn't came much up much from there. And this is one that you guys can see. I mean, we did hit 1150, so we did see some hype, but it's cooled off, right? From 1150 down to about 1030, 1040, 1050, 1060. But now you guys are seeing on Friday, this is very important. We ended up cooling off to that 50 simple moving average on the 4-hour chart here, and we got some momentum off of there. We bounced off. Some buyers came in, bid up this stock, SRAC, and we're pushing, guys. So technically speaking, this could make a move this week. Maybe up to the higher 10s, maybe $11. That's kind of where I'm watching. And again, if you want more information on Momentus, on this SPAC here, a space SPAC, check out the description down below. I will link it right down below for you guys. It's about a 15-minute video, and it goes deeper into it. So that's Momentus. I see a lot of potential there, not only in the short term, but also in the long term, due to all the partnerships they have and all the unique in-space, really, what's it called, guys? You know, the services they're looking to provide. And yeah, go check it out. Linked down below in the description box. And the next one here, a couple more, guys, are FSLY. FSLY. You guys can see FSLY got crushed ever since their guidance came down a bit. Again, what did I say before about guidance, guys? It works for you and against you, and it's very important when it comes down to companies, right? Sure, when a company has great guidance, it could push the stock up, but when guidance gets cut a bit, the stock could go down. And we saw that with FSLY, down 136 all the way down to about $89, $90. And you guys were like, Stosh, should I buy FSLY at $89, $90? I was like, wait. The selling might not be done. We might be going down more. It's looking like a falling knife. And what do you know? It pump faked a lot of people out. This was known as kind of I don't want to say a bull trap, but people got in a bit too early. They got excited, right? Because it held 88, 89, popped up to $95. I'm sure a lot of people got in here. I guess, yeah, it is a bull trap. And from there now, guys, it's down to 84, right? It's continuing to sell off from 94 to 84. So I'm thinking FSLY has more room to go down. Honestly, I think it could go down to $77. I don't see it going much lower than that. That is where we've held in the past couple of months, right around $77, $78, maybe $80, right? So if it does get a bit lower, a couple bucks lower, I might nibble a little bit of a position here, as earnings are, and actually, no, I'm probably not, because earnings are coming up here, and I'm probably just going to stay away from Fastly, to be honest, guys, but we'll see. Never say never. Earnings are coming up, so I'd rather see earnings get reported, see what happens in the next couple of weeks before getting in, but hey, that's just me. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your guys' thoughts? And honestly, with anything in this video, just drop your comment down below. And another couple here, let's go rapid fire, guys. We have MasterCard. I've talked about this one several times in the past couple of videos. MasterCard, I like it anywhere above 340, 345. I think it has breakout potential, especially if we're able to break this wedge. So I'm going to set an alert on MasterCard here. Let me do it real quick at about, let's say, $342. Let's just put it there, $342. I'll create that alert. And if this next one here, CRM, if CRM is able to break, let's say, $265, I'm going to put an alert there, that could end up being a momentum play as well. So $265 mark is at or above here on CRM. So MasterCard and CRM, I like both of those a lot. And we're going to end off the video here with the airlines, right? We talked about earlier stimulus, and we might see, we most likely will see a package here for the airlines. So I'm watching airlines on this stimulus potentially, and some of them are UAL. They're reporting earnings this week. Actually, no, they already reported earnings. That's my mistake. They already reported earnings, but stimulus could still affect them, right? AAL, I think they're reporting this week. Yeah, that's right. They're reporting this week on the 22nd. So watch AAL. Big resistance here at 1330. So we might see a pop out of there on stimulus news. We might not. Nobody knows, guys, but it's still worth watching and keeping on your watch list. And Spirit Airlines as well. SAVE. This is another more low-key airline that I'm personally watching here for a potential trade, and they're actually reporting on the 21st here, which is literally, guys, in 3 days from now. So that's pretty much it for today's video. We broke down a bunch of stocks from airlines to CRM, MasterCard, Fastly, Momentus, which again is linked down below in the description box. Virgin Galactic, Coca-Cola, IBM, Tesla, Netflix. We talk about stimulus. Now I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Let me know in the comments, what stocks are you buying, your thoughts on stimulus. Are you staying away this week? Are you going all in the market this week? Let me know in the comments. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the free Discord, the free Facebook. That's a tongue twister, guys. Free Facebook group, link down below. And you could also get 2 free stocks from WeBull, which are valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the account, and that is how you get your 2 free stocks. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.